our lunchtime entertainment. Let's go to something a little bit different here at the Sydney Royal Easter Show. Something that's one of our equestrian sports. It might not be as well known as some of the others, but tell you what, it is exciting. To take us through it all this morning, we have Angela Schindler and Eliza Walk-Chapman. Ladies, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you to the Royal Agricultural Society for inviting us this week. We're having a fantastic time here at the showgrounds. Today we want to have a chat with you about vaulting. Eliza, why don't you tell us a little bit about what vaulting is?
Vaulting can be best described as a combination of gymnastics and dance on a moving horse.
Okay, and so I can see some horses coming in. Can you tell us who we've got out on the grounds today?
Yes, so out on the circle at the moment is Noah. He's a 14-year-old Clyde Cross quarter horse. And then we have as his support horse, Nico, who is an 18-hand 9-year-old warm blood cross Irish sport horse.
Okay, so Noah comes with us from Bathurst, and Nico comes with us from Windsor, not far away. Okay, so I can see that we've got a person holding a horse on a rope. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what's going on with that rope and that horse?
So that is the lunger. The horse is being lunged by Gina. And that is so that the vaulters can focus on their vaulting. All control is with the lunger.
Okay, so now I can see somebody's doing a fancy move up on top of that horse. It looks like we've got
Ivy is on the horse. She's just dismounted. So we're starting at a trot today. We use this as a warm-up and a training pace, and competitions are performed at both canter and walk.
Okay, so I can see that horse is not actually wearing a saddle. What is that horse wearing? There's some sort of special gear there.
Yeah, we do have a specific gear that we use. He's wearing a surcingle, which is specially designed for vaulting, so it has handles and foot loops. And then under that, he has a sponge and a back pad. The back pad is made out of a special material to protect the horse.
The horse's spine, yep. So what do some of these moves include? I think there's a vault on and some other names of moves.
Yeah, so the vault on is used to get on the horse. There are sets of compulsories as person, I think it may be Lily on the horse at the moment, is doing compulsories, and so there are a set of moves that have to be performed at each level at competitions. And then there's also the freestyle, which is a 1-minute performance which allows the vaulter to show off where their skills lie.
Speaking of skills, do you need to be able to ride a horse before you become a vaulter?
No experience with horses is necessary to begin vaulting. However, vaulting is also good for the rider's seat and balance. Yeah. They complement each other.
That is true. I believe in Europe, it is actually a beginning sport. It's a good thing to start with vaulting to teach that balance and that coordination.
Yes.
Okay. Again, do you have to have a certain set of skills? I guess that kind of goes with, no, you don't really need to know how to ride or anything.
No.
How about a certain age?
No, there's no specific age that is necessary for vaulting. Okay. All ages can vault, from little kids to, and as long as you would like.
Good. Fantastic. So I'm guessing I think in my notes here I've got a note to say this is all about creating body lines. So when they're doing those moves, the viewer can keep an eye on the vaulter.
Yeah, so each move has a specific core skills which are required. The compulsories are set around skills such as flexibility, strength, harmony with the horse, which is a very important component of vaulting, harmony with the horse.
So there's a lot of benefits to vaulting. Obviously, we've already said great fitness, great balance, mind, body, and even spirit.
Yeah, and vaulting is it's a great sport. It builds a large amount of teamwork. It's working with an animal, which is always fantastic. It's coordination, harmony, balance, strength, flexibility. It really builds a well-rounded athlete. So Caitlin appears to be on the horse at the moment, and she's doing freestyle moves. She's just dismounting now. So dismounts are something that we really focus on in vaulting to make sure that we are safe when we do them. So it's very important to have training in those to protect our vaulters.
Right. So there's some lightness of the landing on the ground and lightness of landing on the horse as well.
Yes, because as we like to prolong our vaulting careers, we also like to protect our horses and make sure that they stay safe and comfortable with it.
Okay, so a vaulting club. If anyone was interested in finding a vaulting club, there are
a number across Australia. In New South Wales, there are approximately 10 vaulting clubs, mainly on the East Coast, but there's 3 clubs out west.
Mm-hmm.
So we now have Fleur mounting the horse, as far as I can tell. Now, Fleur is actually the owner of Noah and has ridden him for a number of years. Gina, who is lunging, is her mum, and she also has a sister who is in the centre, Ivy, who now rides Noah. Our horses do cross training as well. So Noah goes to Pony Club. He loves show jumping, and all our horses, we do cross training, ridden cross training with them, which is an important skill.
Okay, so that will nearly conclude our demonstration today. If you'd like to know more about vaulting, stop by the Janko Pavilion and have a chat with someone from the Vault Air vaulting team. If you want to see more, stop by this evening for the evening spectacular and watch the show.
Thank you so much, girls. Eliza Walk-Chapman and Angela Schindler here in the broadcast box with us, and beautiful horses. We look forward to seeing them as part of our nighttime extravaganza that we have out here in the main arena. The circus has come to town, and that is just one of many of the amazing acts that we have. The greatest Easter show spectacular, from high wire to trapeze and everything else, is all absolutely amazing. Well, they say that when the show comes to town, the bush comes to town, and it certainly has. The country has arrived, and we thought we'd bring a young man who has made a living on life on the land. He is, of course, a man who has worked sheep and cattle all of his life. It is great to welcome from the Elliston Pastoral Company, the one and only Mr. Murray Wilkinson, and Jade Smith accompanying him today, and their team of working dogs. G'day, gents. How are we on this Sunday afternoon? What a beautiful day it is to be in Sydney.
Definitely, Tim. It's great to be out here just to show everyone what we're doing back at home. It's on a bit of a day-to-day basis, and we work cattle up there. We come from up in the Hunter Valley. Both of us. Jade actually grew up on the property where I work now, so he has a great overview of what the place is like and the type of country and terrain that we work in, what you have to do with your animals, your dogs, horses, and such like that. You know, what goes on day to day with the cattle operation on the whole property.
Well, mate, it's great to have you here. Of course, you're not a bad guy. Jade's not a bad guy, but I tell you look like you've got 3 really good mates down on the ground beside you there.
Email? Definitely, yeah. I've got a couple of dogs here just to give us a bit of a hand. Mel. Boo.
And unfortunately, Tim, we don't have any great Dodge Ram trucks like this up in the country, so we're just going to borrow that. So a big thanks to Terry and the RM Williams there for the loan of the truck to sit the dogs on while Murray waits for them to work.
I was going to say, that is a pretty flash rig. I want to jog by in Elliston if that's the sort of car you get to drive. But that explains, of course, RM Williams have been great supporters of us here at the Sydney Royal Easter Show.
They certainly are, and I think if he said if we don't scratch it this week, we get to drive it home. So we're looking forward to that at the end of the show.
Yeah, drive it home with him sitting beside you so he can drive it back again, I'd be thinking.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Now, mate, it's great to have horses out here. It's great to have dogs, but, you do have some cattle. What are we going to see today?
Yeah, what we're going to do, Tim, we're imagining we're out in the steep country where Murray works at the moment, and you know, the paddocks could be anywhere for up to 800 or 1,000 acres, these paddocks, and there's hills, there's, you know, a lot of scrubby country, there's creeks, there's gullies, and we've got to get these cattle and we're going to get them into the yards ready to either go to market or ready for their vaccination. So, you know, you might have to ride out through 4 or 5 different paddocks to get there, so we're going to bring these cattle and put them through a gateway as if we're going into another paddock and work them towards the yard. So what we're basically showing is, you know, Murray does a lot of this work on his own. There is other stockmen up there, obviously they all work together, but these dogs certainly take a big workload instead of having another man or another 2 or 3 men, you know, on wages and staff. So these dogs certainly are worth their money, and we're going to just showcase what these dogs can do. The control Murray has over these dogs, you know, you can basically get control of these cattle, get them to where you want, and point them in the right direction.
Mate, can you talk through a little bit about what Murray's doing? How does he control these dogs? I mean, we've seen him working with one, now suddenly there's 2 dogs there. Do they have specific whistles or codes? You know, does he speak dog language? Well,
they've all got a certain name, and they all know their name. And then he's got commands with a whistle, as you'll be able to hear him whistling those dogs there now. So he's got to stop, he's got to go, he's got a left, he's got a right. So obviously you try and keep your dogs behind the cattle and bringing the cattle to him, or if he's going the other way, he sends the dogs right out inside of the hill and they'll bring them back. So they've all got their own commands, and if he can call boo there, or you know, whichever dog he wants to call, they straight away they know their name. So he's just whistled there now, he got them to sit and wait. Now he's just sending them out one side, and if he wants he can bring one dog back, send the other one around, and we're just going to head them over and try and put them in the yards.
Mate, these dogs here, as you were just alluding to before, they certainly do alleviate the workload. They're a lot cheaper to run than, say, putting another staff member on, but they must be worth a lot of money.
Yeah, they certainly are, Tim, and it's certainly growing now. You know, a lot of people buying properties and getting cattle, and no, these dogs, look, as we said, a lot of people go the way of quad bikes and buggies. And hiring someone to look after their place, but if you've got a couple of decent dogs, they do all that for you in one. So there's dog sales now. You know, people breed these dogs. They've all got great bloodlines in them. They're bred to do what they're doing right now, and the sales are just really starting to fire. And you know, look, these working dogs, you know, your average working dog these days are worth sort of anywhere from $6,000 to $8,000, and your very top dogs will be, you know, could be worth $15,000 to $20,000. And you know, it might sound a lot up front, but the work they can do for you day in, day out, and they save you a wage of an extra stockman.
Hey, Sydney, how about that? How about you give Murray a round of applause? Walk those cattle in so quietly there. But Jade, I was just looking at it, I understand, and you know, a lot of people would associate dogs working with sheep because that sort of is a fairly even matchup, but those dogs are tiny in comparison to those steers.
Yeah, they certainly are. They got a massive heart. You know, and they're extremely fit. They're bred to go all day, and that's what they do. You know, these dogs could do. Well, I would hate to think how many kilometres they would do each day, but they'll go and work for 10 or 12 hours. You know, you might have a full day mustering, and these dogs will go all day, and all they expect is a drink of water out of the creek or the dam on the way. You know, but they'll get hit, they'll get kicked, they'll get stomped on, they'll get thrown off, and you know, they keep going. They've got massive hearts, and they love what they do, and they'll get up and do it again every day.
So we look out there, and I suppose I'm cheating because I've been here a couple of days. There's a certain breed that you use, and there's a lot of instinct in these dogs, and then you're just harnessing it.
Yeah, that's right. No, they're border collies. They're bred for this job. But I mean, as you could see, when these steers came out onto the arena, they had a bit of run in them, and they were sort of looking around and ready to go somewhere. And these dogs, you know, they've done their job. They've got control of these steers. They brought them over to Murray. He's put them through the gateway, and basically now he's got those cattle nice and settled. And by the time they got to those yards, they were nice and settled, nice and steady. There's no bruisings for when they go to market. And the cattle are happy, and that way that everyone else is happy, the owner's happy, and there's no dramas, and you don't want your cattle stirry at all. And as you can see now, those cattle are nice and steady, nice and happy, and they're ready to go on the truck off the market.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, what a great display we've seen here today. Hey, Murray, just before you leave, mate, thanks for coming down. Mum and Dad always told me that I was their favourite child. Do you have a favourite dog?
Yeah, Tim, probably old Boo just here, the real white one. She'd be my favourite. She actually only just comes out for special occasions. We used her in the Man from Snow River show where she used to hold a mob of cattle off by herself. She's 10-year-old, so she's done a fair few miles for me. I suppose that'd be like a 70 or 80-year-old person. And she's probably my favourite dog that I've got, and she's just retired in the house yard home, comes out for these special occasions.
Well, thanks so much. Hey, Jade, thanks for coming. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Jade Smith, Murray Wilkinson, but more importantly, those beautiful Border Collies.
Thanks for having us.
Well, we've seen a bit of extreme vaulting. We changed it up a little bit and we brought out some cattle. But ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, they have been entertaining crowds for over 50 years. They're a staple diet at shows all around the country. Tell me, of Sydney, who wants to see Isuzu Team D-Max? Best laid plans. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the Isuzu Team D-Max. 4 of the best in the business working here today. Out in car number 1, we welcome Jack Monkhouse. He's been driving for the Isuzu Team D-Max for the past 15 years. In 2001, he left his hometown of Adelaide to be based here in New South Wales. He's our number 1 driver. And when he's not rally car driving, he loves nothing more than to be sitting behind an Isuzu Team D-Max. This presentation, as we said, goes right back to the old days of the Holden Precision Driving Team. But hey, how about we throw a handbrake turn in, whack it into neutral, throw the clutch in there, rip the handbrake on, put the foot back on the clutch, find reverse, and do all that while smiling at the crowd. Well, these guys have been doing this for some of the best of the time. Check out how close these guys get. There is literally millimetres between cars 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And in fact, these vehicles, other than a bit of a fancy sticker job, a little bit of an advanced tyres from Toyo Tyres, and a little bit of a change in suspension and a racing seat. That is all that stands between them and a standard Isuzu 3-litre turbo diesel. Well, it's a staple diet. Well, your staple diet here, it is a diamond formation. Now, it's all well and good for car number 1. He's looking over his shoulder and he can see where he goes. That's Jack. In the middle, we've got Dave Shannon and Michael Long. But at the back, Paul Goodwin, he's not only looking over his shoulder, but all he sees is D-Max tail lights in front of him. Oh, they're going to narrow it up here, though. These boys are really throwing it onto the edge here. Oh, we pull out cars 1 and 3, 1 and 4. Switch it back around, handbrake turn, throw it back in. Try not to stall it and do it all again while keeping your mates in control as well. Team D-Max. Now, in the middle there, we have a guy by the name of Dave Shannon. He first drove here at the Sydney Royal Easter Show way back in 1981. 1981, that is correct. I was born in 1983 and I'm 34, turning 35 this year. 37 years of experience behind the Isuzu Team D-Max Precision Driving, and he is still one of the best in the business. A Queenslander, but he loves to come down here to the Sydney Royal Easter Show and put on an entertainment for each and every one of you. Now, folks, if you haven't done so already, make sure you check out the Isuzu Team D-Max website. Isuzu, just jump on and to dmax.com.au and make sure if you're sharing any social images from today, use the hashtag Team DMAX. Well, 2x2, look at this, bumper to bumper. Rear vision mirror to rear vision mirror. They're so close, they're touching. In fact, they've closed them in. Oh, that's right. Well, Jack Monkhouse pulls himself back out into the lead. Well, don't forget about also our other two drivers. Paul Goodwin sits down the track there in the back. He's in car number 4. He's been lead driver. He's been featuring in feature films. He's a professional rally car driver and stunt driver. And just recently, he's been on the sets of such things as Mad Max. And he has been here at the Sydney Royal Easter Show since the 90s. In fact, drove at the old showground. Hey, Jack, what are you doing? Up! Hits the Toyo tyre kicker ramp and no problem for these hardy, tough Isuzu Team D-Max. Well, the boys love nothing more than planting the foot on this tight, narrow little track. It's a little bit slippery, but that's not going to hold them back. This is called the D-Max dance. Pedal to the metal. Watch where the boys around you are. Weave left, weave right. Keep an eye on the car in front of you. Keep an eye on the car behind you. Make sure that you're getting out of each other's way and having a bit of fun at the same time as well. Keeping an eye on where we are. Whacking it back through. But Jack says, hey, I'm the lead driver. I'm going to sit here in front. And the boys open it up again. 2 and 2. 2 and 2. Well, it's one thing to be able to drive fast, to be able to drive quick, to be able to weave in amongst each of your mates. But can you drive slowly? Can you drive in control? This is like where we like to just really test our drivers and their accuracy. Let's see how they go. And the boys were saying through the radio before they were loving the fact that we've got the full arena here today. Giving them just a little bit more space. Again, you watch how close these guys get here. Look at their pinpoint accuracy. Jack's on the inside. Dave Shannon. Michael Long in the middle. And Paul Goodwin having to do the quickness on the outside. Throw a blanket over them, ladies and gentlemen. And now we wheel it back around to the left-hand side. Now, Longers, who's in the middle there, Longy, he's a Sydney boy, born and bred up here in Sydney, and he has been driving with our team, T-Max. He's the young gun. He's been with us for the last 4 years, and when he is not here, driving and performing and entertaining crowds across the country with the Isuzu Team D-Max, he loves nothing more than to head out to Eastern Creek. He's a professional driver training, and he works it as a full-time driver. Not a bad gig. Well, I tell you something that I have always thought looks really cool. That's to put an Isuzu Team D-Max on 2 wheels. But this year, we thought that we would try and put not 1, but 2. Dave Shannon is one of the best in the business. Most people, when they put a car on 2 wheels, they do it on a bitumen track in a straight line. We're on dirt and we are on a curve, ladies and gentlemen. We've got Dave Shannon up on 2 wheels. Can we get him around? And Jack Monkhouse missed the ramp, and I've just heard in the radio said if the old guy can do it, the young gun's going to have a go. But ladies and gentlemen, keep your eye on Dave Shannon as he comes around past the Vincent Fairfax stand. Have a look at him. Have a look in the window. Watch the hands, left and right, left and right. Now Jack Monkhouse is up on 2 wheels as well. He's trying to play catch-up, so he's put the foot down. He's going a little bit quicker. Keep an eye on Dave. They're going to try and get around to me where I am in the broadcast box. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together. together. 63 years young and driving like a superstar. And now look, can Jack get there? He's going to have another go. Can he get to the point? Jack comes down. Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, put your hands together. Jack Monkhouse, two-wheeling a full half lap of the arena. If you got a photo of that, don't forget to use the hashtag Team DMAX for the guys here today when you put your photos up on Facebook or on Instagram. The Isuzu Team DMAX boys. Well, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, how about you put your hands together and give them a great big cheer. Jack Monkhouse, Dave Shannon, Michael Long and Paul Goodwin. They are the Isuzu Team DMAX. And if you want to drive like a professional, if you want to feel the exhilaration of driving a 3-litre turbo diesel, jump online and get in touch with your local Isuzu dealer. As we said before, these are all but stock standard 3-litre turbo diesels, and they are the Isuzu Team DMAX Precision Driving Team. Well, as they make their way around the arena, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, the energy levels are up. Keep it up there because please make him welcome Mr. Tommy G.
Oh, thank you so much, Tim Dreverman. Fantastic job as always. And how good was Team Isuzu DMAX? Well, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tommy G, the MC, and I'm from Showtime FMX. Now, I have one very simple question to ask you, Sydney. Do you want to see some action? Well, I have three of the best in the business freestyle motocross riders. Let's bring the boys out right now. Rider number one of the best in the business. Go crazy. This is Kane Saul. Rider number two, one of the fastest men we've ever seen in motocross and supercross. Go crazy for Robbie Marshall. And last but not least, a veteran of the sport and a feature rider in the Nitro Circus live crew. Welcome me back to the Sydney Royal. This is Brad Birch. And as Birchie comes on over, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, would you please put your hands together for the entire Showtime Freestyle Motocross team. Loving the energy out there today. Beautiful sunshine, sunny day. Well, I know I don't want to stop this train from rolling. What do you say, Sydney? Do you want to see some action? Righto, boys, over to you. Round number two. Let's go. All right. Now, this is how it works, Sydney. If you've never seen freestyle motocross before, it is quite simple. The more noise you make, the higher, the longer, and the crazier this bad boy is going to get. These guys feed off your energy. So if you like what you see, I want you to bang those hands together and go absolutely crazy because this is an all-out freestyle affair. What do you say? Are you ready to go? Showtime FMX, let's go, boys. One of the best there is. Check this man out, Kane Saul. Kane Saul with a nice KOD Indy. Robbie Marshall to open his account. Plays that one back, hands and feet off the bike. That time, Robbie Marshall. They call that the lazy boy. Brad Birch. Looking smooth there for you today. One hand Indy seat grab. Rapid fire freestyle, Kane Saul. Hanging onto that bike just by the tips of his finger. One hand seat grab Superman there from Kane Saul. Robbie Marshall comes in, kicks that one out, turns the body upside down, boots to the sky with a good looking double can. Back to Brad Birch. Check that out, Sydney. Brad Birch, big handstand up on top of the bars. They call that one the ruler. Make some noise for him. Action thick and fast, Kane Saul. Big tweak double neck there from Kane Saul. Twisting the body inside out. Righto, Brad Birch. Comes in, pushes that one away, Brad Birch. Big holy grab from the master. Let's go, that Honda CRF 450 floats it across, grabs it, rips it, and drops it down. Righto. Back over Robbie Marshall. Hang on a minute, Sydney. Robbie Marshall. Robbie Marshall turns that thing on its head. How good was that? Come on, put your hands together for him. Let's take a little bit of stock there. Robbie Marshall has turned that bike 90 degrees to the down ramp, somehow changing direction mid-air, defying the laws of physics and gravity, and lands it on the down ramp. Well, where do we go from here? We've gone all our style tricks. I think it's time to turn this party upside down. What do you say, Sydney Royal Easter Show? Do you want a backflip? Shake it out, upside down, Kane Soul. Upside down, Robbie Marshall, 1 to go. Brad Birch upside down with a big whip flip. 1, 2, and 3. Oh, how good was that? All three boys turning their bikes upside down, making that 75-foot gap and dropping it down. Well, where do we go from here, Sydney? The boys have done style. They've gone upside down. It's now time to really ramp up the danger because it wasn't dangerous enough. This is what we like to call the backflip variation. Kane Soul gets upside down, the big suicide, no-hander flip. Kane Soul lets go of that Honda 450. Somehow brings that bad boy around, showing why he is one of the best. Would you please put your hands together for Kane Soul? Righto, Solly, mate. Puts that in the bank. Rocket Rob Dog, what do you got? Shake it out, Sydney. Look out, Robbie Marshall. Big heel clicker flip there from Robbie Marshall. One man goes no hands, the other guy no feet. Give it up for him. That is Robbie Marshall. Righto, we got one. We got two. But there's still a man over there in the tunnel. Now these boys, they got a friendly rivalry going on. It's all about the cheers from the crowd, and this man loves it better than anybody. Righto, Brad Birch. Come on, mate. What do you got? Check it out right now, Brad Birch. Big super flip, Indy. Massive separation from Brad Birch, showing why he is one of the most successful freestyle motocross riders on the planet. Come on, folks. Give it up for Brad Birch. Boys, boys, boys. Now, I tell you what, Robbie Marshall, how excited have we been for the last 11 and a half months to come back down here to the Sydney Royal Easter Show. It's our favourite event of the year, and we're back again.
That's it, Tommy. Man, luckily the time's gone quick. We've been super busy, but that's always a good thing. So we just love riding our dirt bikes in front of the crowds, and Sydney's always a big one for us. So, yeah, we're stoked to be back again, and hopefully we can keep the ball rolling for more years to come yet.
Well, mate, I tell you, you guys, now this is a very special thing. You guys are going to go up just behind Subway over there and sign some posters, say good day to the kids, take some photos. Now, that's a really special part. Obviously, there's a lot of kids out there. They really look up to you guys. They love what you do. That's a special part of the job.
Yeah, that's it, Tommy. There's nothing more we love than getting to meet the fans and especially the kids, you know, say good day, and any of those ones that ride, give them some inspiration. And, yeah, if those guys in Subway are listening, I'm actually pretty hungry right now, so maybe could bring over a couple of free subs for us.
I had a feeling you were going to say that, Robbie Marshall. You're always eating, champion. Well, I tell you what, it looks like these guys want to get back out there on the ramps. But you know what, Sydney? They're not going to do it unless you want to see it. So what do you say? Do you want to see some action? Righto, boys. Let's go. Final round. Now, these guys are full-time professional freestyle motocross riders. This is what they do for a living. They get to ride around the country and indeed the globe, doing what they love, hanging out together, riding together, and they're great mates as well. Now, what does that mean for you? It means you get to reap the benefits. If you've got a camera phone, you might want to get that bad boy out right now and put it on record, because these guys are going to sail this bad boy 1, 2, 3, all at the same time. It's FMX Train. Let's go, Sydney. You got 1, you got 2, and you got 3. Make some noise for the boys, Sydney. Well, that's what they call the FMX Train. Throwing caution to the wind, literally out here today. There's a hell of a cross breeze. The boys are dealing with it as they go. But it looks like this train is going to turn around and leave the station one more time. But before we do that, remember, make sure you come on up behind Subway on the concourse over there. Come on up and see the boys. They've got some posters up there. Love to say good day to the kids. Give away some free stuff and as well take some photos. So come on up and check it out. If you've got any photos, make sure you upload those bad boys to Instagram using that hashtag ShowtimeFMX. Alrighty, boys. Here we go, Sydney. Check it out. You got 1, you got 2, and you got 3. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, they are the best in the business. Would you please thank the Showtime Freestyle Motocross team? Oh, ladies and gentlemen, what a great show. Thank you so much, boys. But you know what? We've got to get up there. We're going to meet the kids over there, plus much more entertainment coming up this afternoon. What are you guys doing? What do you mean? You want one more? Well, I don't know. I think we better ask the good people of Sydney out here. Now, these boys want to go one more, Sydney, but we're not going to do it unless you want to see it. So do you want to see one more? Righto, boys. One more time. Thanks for hanging out with us today, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful day here at the Sydney Royal Show. A huge thank you to the committee here at Sydney Royal Show for having Showtime FMX back again. It is our favourite event of the year and it's our absolute pleasure to be here. Alrighty, looks like these guys are going to hit this ramp again. I don't know if my insurance is up to date. I'm going to hope so, because these guys are going to come and hit this like a bat out of hell. We got 1, we got 2, we got 3. Righto, boys, let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, they are the best in the business. They are the Showtime Freestyle Motocross team. 3 of the nicest guys in the business. Folks, would you please thank Mr. Kane Saul, Robbie Marshall, and Brad Birch. Check it out on the big screen as the boys head around. Beautiful pictures there, Spotless Stadium. Ah, unbelievable. Make sure you come and check it out behind Subway out there. The boys would love to say good day. My name's Tommy G, the MC, and we'll see you tonight, folks.
Tommy.